Hey traders from around the world, what is going on? It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsom with Real Life Trading. Hope you're doing absolutely great today. So the market is down 2% as we speak now. Keep in mind everything I'm going to talk about is subject to change due to volatility. The market is still open. But we've got the sell-off. Everyone's been waiting, I think, at least for this candle and this move. We had a Bollinger Band squeeze up until yesterday. And in the afternoon room, we have an afternoon swing trading room here at Real Life Trading from 5 to 6 Eastern. We've been mentioning that this is probably a good time for a straddle strangle or some VIX calls. Was talking about that sometime Tuesday, Wednesday, yesterday being Thursday. My good buddy Dwayne was messaging me on Facebook asking about a straddle strangle because realistically we were going sideways. And keep in mind, I still do have a wager open on the SPY. So remember, I really have been very, very patient getting onto any bullish positions because I really, truly did feel like we were bound to have a little bit of a pullback on the markets. And I made a wager, which is still open and alive, on the SPY. So posted 2 weeks ago, I was mentioning we'd likely get a little bit of a small move downwards, a small move upwards, and then a nice move downwards. I think we're approaching that move down. So if I press the play button, here it is. We had the move down, which kind of came into fruition 2 or 3 days, and then trade up into that wave 2. And I think this is the wave 3, which likely will trade all the way down to 212 and some change, and a little bit of a bounce, and then trade lower. My wager is I'm going to shave my head into a mohawk if the SPY does not get below 211 by November 1st. That's pretty much the wager. So SPY, anyway, what are we going to do now? Well, yesterday was a great warning signal. We had a new black crow yesterday, and just letting you guys know, I truly didn't think we'd sell off quite this much this morning. This morning's analysis, I did call the open on the SPY. I mentioned it's a nice bearish gap, looking for it to bounce into 217.80, maybe. And I mentioned if it doesn't, if we start selling off immediately, this is going to be a for real gap. I said 50 EMA is daily. On the daily is my target. So on this gap down today, I really did think we were going to hit the 50. And we did. We hit the 50 and blew right through it. And again, it's very, very interesting. We'll move on the SPY. I love this candle. A lot of traders are thinking, now what? Well, honestly, probably going to experience a little bit of this, and then some of this, and then some of this, and some of this. I think we go lower, bottom line, into October. We've been mentioning that numerous times, that if we do pull back, I want it to have a healthy pullback before I do any kind of buying the dip, which is still going to be my play on a long-term position, buy the dip. So I had a few traders saying, hey, what about my retirement account? Well, my thought is if you're having some cash and you're ready to add into some positions, if I come over here on a weekly chart on the SPY, this is the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. I'm looking for something healthy into here coming into the elections. And then, yes, it is a big question mark, but I think that at some point we bounce, and then depending on who gets elected and what happens, sure, we could roll over. But as you guys know, I have no long-term positions on the SPY right now. Totally flat. I have no positions at all on the SPY. Waiting. We'll be looking for a bearish trade here in the next few days. And a really good week of day trading today. A good day trading week today. Had a great week this week. 4 R's for the morning trading room this week. Not too bad. Today, we're doing really well. Overall, we've had 5 winners in a row on the day trade. So that's pretty nice. Feeling good about that. Today, we were day trading 2 very popular, very well-known stocks. At Real Life Trading, we do like to focus on the stocks that everyone knows, because if you're a real-life trader, if you're a real-life professional trader, you likely are going to be talking about stocks that people know. Well, we traded McDonald's today. Everyone in the planet knows McDonald's, and that's a stock and a company that you can really relate to other people from all around the world. So it's not a random penny stock that you heard about on the mail. This is McDonald's, and we made 0.8R, which pretty much correlates to 0.8% on McDonald's just today in a bearish day trade. So really excited about that. Anyway, let's talk about some other trades. Apple getting absolutely punished today, fell from the tree. Here's the daily chart. And on this daily chart on Apple, here's kind of what we were looking at yesterday, the 6th. If we make a lower low, exit Apple calls for a small gain. I remember you guys talking about got in like this. Really nice little bullish candle on that day right there. We had a little bit of a pop, and once it made that lower low, boom, kind of get out. And really strong bearish gap yesterday. Really phenomenal bearish retest gap. Check this out, guys. Black candle gapped down today. Watch this. Here's your 5-minute time frame. And your 5-minute time frame, again, black candle gapping down. That's a retest gap. There's your double top. There's your stop. There's the retest of the double top neckline. Boom. I mean, Apple just really just got wrecked today. Nice little move. So now what on Apple? Kind of looks like a double top, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be very cautious with this gap action because it's very, very strong, incredibly good support here on Apple. My note was Apple's going to hit the 50 EMA as a no-brainer today. Well, that happened pretty much out of open. Either a bounce or a high wave doji that can be played either way. Looking for bears to be zealous and maybe get trapped. If today's candle isn't remotely bullish, Apple sees lower lows. So that's my thought. I do think we're getting some lower lows on Apple. And if we start filling this gap right here, something like this, which again could take 2 to 3 weeks, right? Keep that in mind. I think it's going to be a little bit of a bearish action right there. And Stan's got his put sale that expires Friday, so he should be fine on that. So anyway, Apple, I'll be keeping a close eye on it, but it looks slightly bearish just for the short term on ticker symbol AAPL. My good buddy Michael Clark over there in North Carolina owns a lot of shares, I believe, of Johnson Control, ticker symbol JCI. This one had a really nice gap the other day right here, nice bullish gap and go after it had some splits. So I know he's enjoying that. So anyway, Freebird. Trade looks good. I think he bought back down in April somewhere. So at this particular point, it looks like a little bit of a retest of this old resistance, new support area, and looking forward to kind of come down and potentially bounce a little bit. FCX, we still have a bearish swing trade on FCX. Target is 10.08, getting very, very close to that. Got triggered into a bullish swing trade yesterday on SGY, Stone Energy. And yeah, we might lose on this trade, but really as much as the market is down right now, some energy is holding up pretty well, Stone Energy being one of them. So we'll see, right? If I lose, we lose. The goal of swing trading and any trading is just to lose as small as you possibly can. My good buddy Joe Evans was asking about some trades of the day. So let's go look at these for Joe. Trigger symbol HD for Home Depot. Absolutely getting wrecked. Joe, you're totally correct. I got to give a shout out to Rachel over at Prodigy at Play in California. She was looking to go bearish right around here and might have just had to stop just a little too tight. But either way, Rachel, your analysis was absolutely correct. Home Depot did end up rolling over after a nice little double top right there. Double top, ugly retest, and just free fell on Home Depot. Lowe's actually played lows the other day I think being yesterday, for a nice bearish day trade. It kept on going today. So Lowe's, Home Depot getting some nice sell-off on both of those, which is good. Good blue chip dividend paying stock, finally getting a chance to pull back. And I'd like to see these pull back even farther, both on Home Depot and Lowe's, into their really, really strong support. So keep your eye on that. KBH, what is KBH doing? I haven't looked at this one in a few days, I don't think. KBH, this is a weekly chart, down 4% today. That was a long, long time ago. Here is the daily chart on KBH. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. Earnings is coming up, so keep your eyes on the prize for that one. But realistically, good break of support today. Let's see if it can retest that support. And then on earnings, if it starts gapping down, I think KB Homes would be a little bit more bearish and bullish. Ticker symbol LEN, I believe, is Lennar Corporation. Lennar, nice gap today. I mean, bottom line, a lot of stocks got a lot of nice gaps today. But again, just like the other stock we just looked at, this one also has earnings. So KBH and LEN have earnings upcoming very soon. So just keep your eyes on that for a swing trade. And then PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL. Nice gap today. Actually, probably going to be trapping some people because this looks like a really nice double bottom, and it definitely closed above that neckline, and today is a pretty nice bearish gap. So PayPal overall, though, is going very, very sideways. It's in a large channel. So there's a channel on PayPal, and if you really just take a step back and look at it, it's actually quite sideways. I haven't taken a trade on PayPal in a while. I think the last one that we took was back here and then back here. Tried taking those two bearish, and one worked, one didn't. But either way, on PayPal, overall, it's pretty sideways. So I'm just kind of waiting on PayPal to get something more movement-wise. Delta, forming a nice triangle. I think we can go ahead and draw it here on Delta. Let me see here. Pop in over here on the weekly chart. This looks like a nice double bottom. But there's one line. It's a nice lime green. Let me change that to blue. And then come over here on the downside. There we go. And there's a little bit of a triangle on Delta Airlines. When's that going to break out? Don't know. Here's your weekly chart, and the weekly actually still looks like a double bottom could be forming. Nice new white soldier. Last week, we did make a higher high, did leg into a 42 covered call for September week 30 yesterday on Delta. American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, a lot of airlines had a really good pullback today, but on the weekly chart, they still look strong. So American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, you can notice there's your retest gap today. So I don't think it's a huge surprise that we are actually retesting today, right? So there's Southwest, again, retesting that retest gap, pulling back some, looking for that to potentially bounce on all airlines. Great pullbacks today. So there's those. CHK, want to bring this one up. A lot of traders made some serious coinage on CHK. You guys might remember me talking about getting into some 550 September calls. This was before I went on the cruise to Alaska. So I think we got into them here, pulled back into the moving average and bounced, trade up to the target. Mr. Robin Ying, great trade. A lot of traders did very, very well on CHK. CHK did hit the target. So at this point, on this particular natural gas energy stock, very good breakout candle. What I'm looking for is a little bit more of this, this, and this. That could take a month or two, but looking for a pullback and then going to keep my eyes and start planning for buying the bounce opportunity on CHK. My good buddy Roberto up in Montreal, he's the one who wrote the Canadian article. Canadian article, that sounds terrible. The article on real life trading, and he was looking at, here we go. Why should you invest in Canadian stock market? It's actually a really good article. I mean, of course it is. Roberto wrote it, right? It's a good chance to read that one if you don't, if you haven't already. I think it's good, especially for my good friends and traders up to the north, in the Great White North. But here is TD on the TSX, and this is end of day data. But realistically, what we're looking at here is a long-term breakout on Toronto Dominion Bank. So a lot of the banks today breaking out U.S. side and Canadian side. So what we have been noticing for a very, very long time, at least at real life trading, is that a lot of breakouts, especially the last 2 or 3 years, have been failing and retesting a lot. So there's your resistance on ticker symbol TD. My overall thoughts, this is working on breaking out, let it retest, and then look to buy the bounce on this one. And that's kind of my overall thoughts on BMO as well. This is BMO on the TSX, so Bank of Montreal. So really both of those banks, I do believe he featured in his article, and really just keeping an eye on them because there are some really strong resistances and they're working on breaking out. So for my Canadian traders and or my American traders who are looking to trade Canadian stocks, both of those banks look really nice, breaking out, looking for them to pull back before giving us some buying opportunities. And just 2 other updates really quick. I mentioned Dwayne earlier. He had some puts on Yum. He messaged this to me through Facebook. So Dwayne, great trade, man. He said his first target was the 50 EMA, which we hit today at open. But realistically, this was another false breakout. We've gotten a lot of those in the markets recently. I say recently, the last 2-3 years, because just breakouts have really been retesting a lot. So a lot of bearish moves came in today on Yum. A lot of bearish retest gaps. They probably will retest some and then potentially continue lower. But anyway, I just want to give Dwayne a shout out and just say, hey, man, awesome job. And the 2 trades that I did lose a wager on, ladies and gentlemen, which you will be receiving those wager payments soon, is British Petroleum. So ticker symbol BP. Lost a wager on BP and also Dave & Buster's, ticker symbol PLAY. Now, regardless, even though some traders making some money on Dave & Buster's, which is totally fine, I had a wager that I will buy a random person's dinner at Dave & Buster's before, if Dave & Buster's breaks 43 before August 15th. And bottom line, it did. So I'll be doing that when I get back up to Nashville, either next week or the week after. It's always about giving back, right, ladies and gentlemen? So thank you for all the warm wishes. I love my email inbox. You guys have just been so kind and so thoughtful. I really appreciate it. I think I'm going to be staying in Statesboro a few more days, probably heading back up to Nashville sometime next week and be broadcasting back from there. And I will say, since we had to reschedule the second most anticipated webinar of all time, keep your eyes out next week or the week after, as I'll be releasing the date for still the second most anticipated webinar of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, email me anytime, jeremy@reallifetraining.com. My Twitter is @NewsomeNuggets. You are all fantastic. I'll see you later. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it to you.